If you've been following the first two videos, we have established that the land of the Kenites, Kenites, and Kadmonites will be part of Israel in the Messianic future, in Messianic times. The borders of Israel will expand to include these three nations, and they will be the host of 3 extra cities of refuge, which brings the total to 9. So, and we saw how this is mentioned in the Messianic prophecy in the prayer of Jabez. Jabez is related to the Kenites or cainites, as we saw. So here, this is going to be a quick one, but I think you might find it interesting. I'm just going to read this quickly. In the Messianic future, they will possess the first 3 lands. Okay, so the first 3 lands are in Genesis 15:19, the Cainites, Kenites, and Kadmonites, and then you'll see there are 7 more lands, bringing the total to 10. Allegorically, conquering the land of Canaan and transforming it into the land of Israel means conquering the animalistic side of our personalities and reorienting it toward godliness. Just as our godly souls comprise 10 holy faculties, which derive from the 10 Sephirot, so too our animal souls comprise 10 materially oriented faculties. The latter 10 faculties are reflected in the 10 pagan nations whose territories were promised to Abraham, while at that time his name was Abram. The extra hay had not been added yet. The first 3 nations correspond to the 3 levels of the intellect. The other 7 nations correspond to the 7 emotions. The fact that we are to inherit the lands of the first 3 nations only in the Messianic future indicates that until that time we will not be able to fully rectify our animal intellect. Our main task in the meantime is to refine our animalistic emotions, training ourselves, for example, to love and fear God with the same intensity of feeling with which we naturally love material comforts and pleasures and fear physical pain and suffering. This change in reality is reflected in the fact that in his time King David played a 7-stringed harp, whereas we are taught in the Messianic future King David will play a 10-stringed harp. We are further taught that whereas the territories of the latter 7 nations were conquered by war, the territories of the first 3 nations will be acquired peacefully. So the lands of the first 3 nations, those being the lands of the Cainites, Kenites, and Kadmonites, will be acquired peacefully. And this is the list of 10 nations from Genesis 15:19 to 21. So I've taken the name of the 10 tribes and peoples and arranged them as they are found on Chabad. Their source is included. Note the Cainites, Kenites, and Kadmonites take the top 3 spheres. So this isn't something I made up. This is how it's arranged on the site and in the sources. I have just taken the names and put them underneath the names of the spheres. So the names of the tribes or peoples are underneath. Okay. So here we see them at the top. The cainite is represented by Bina. The Kenites, Chokmah, and the Cadmonite is Keter. And then it carries on down. The Hittite, and you see all the way down to the Girgashite, these correspondences between the nations in the Sephirot are taken from Kehilat Yaakov under the entries of the specific nations. The author quotes several systems of aligning the 7 nations with the 7 emotions. The system followed here is that of his mentor, Rabbi Yaakov Yitzhak, the seer of Lublin. Likutei Sichot 21, page 229, note 40. And there's your link for anybody who wants to check it out. The graphic isn't there. I made the graphic, just arranged the arrangement is there, which I just copied. So that's it. I just wanted to show you that the list of 10 nations from the covenant with Avram correspond to the 10 Sephirot, and the Cainites, Kenites, and Cadmonites take up the top 3. Our focus is the cainites mostly, but you'll see that they're all related, and the good ones had knowledge of one God and 7 laws. Thank you.